Good afternoon. This is Cub reporter Ken Cordero coming to you live out of Middletown, Rhode Island. The date today is January 27th, 2014 AD, which means in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. My email is kencordero@AmericanOnline.com. I'm being sponsored today by 2400 Degrees F out of Mystic, Connecticut, run by Christina Curtin, and their number is 1-860-463-4631. Also out of Middletown, planning a Newport event, call A1 Car, Cab, and Van Service. Their number is 401-841-0411. And on West Main Road in Middletown, Jim's Pizza, and their number is 401-619-2704. Now, what I'd like to talk about today is from our local paper, the Daily News. On the front page, wage bills are pushed in 30 states. They want to raise the minimum wage. Now, these are all being pushed by Democrats. So if you look around, look at our country the last 5 years being run by Democrats. And if you take a look at Rhode Island being run by Democrats for the last 70 years, these people are morons. They know absolutely nothing about economics. For one thing, when they raise the minimum wage in a state, they're telling every company in that state what to do. Whatever happened to limited government? That's number one. Number two, maybe these people, maybe they're not worth $8 an hour anyway. And you want to give them 10, maybe they're not worth it. Did you ever think about that? You know, it's called minimum because anybody can do it. And anybody. Why do you think they have these people who have no skills working as, say, like in farms and stuff? Because it doesn't take an education. You just have to go do something. But people in this country have become so fucking lazy. Please excuse my English. You can start with our president at the top, who wants to be a dictator. The other day, he was speaking to a group of mayors saying he wants to do several things, and if he can't get the cooperation of Congress, he'll do it himself by executive order. Let me tell you something, Barack Hussein Obama. You're not a dictator, although you want to be, don't you? All you are is a fake Muslim. You're not a Christian. Our president wants to let like millions, 20, 30 million criminal illegal aliens, he wants to make them citizens and give them a raise. That's what I'm trying to explain. Anybody can go work on a farm. At least before you could, until people got so lazy. So to begin with, these people aren't worth more money. And you're telling every private business what to do. Once again, maybe if government would get out of everything, maybe prices would be lower and you could live on like $7.25 an hour, which is the federal minimum wage. And that's about where it should be. These people going, oh, I can't live on that. Well, go get another job. And then you'll be making twice that. They'll be making twice the minimum wage. How's that? Don't be so lazy. Go get a job. Oh, I know you can't find a job. How come some people have 2 jobs? How come some people have 3 jobs? You can't find any? So once again, these bills they're all being pushed by Democrats, especially here in Rhode Island. And here's somebody This is from a strategist for progressive groups, who was a communications director at the Howard Dean founded Democracy for America. Neil Schroka. It's a no-brainer for any Democrat. Congress is failing. They can take real action right in the states and have a demonstrable impact right here at home. For policies and policies, it's a winning strategy. Now, think about the Democrats. What have they done? They put you, your kids, and their kids in debt for the rest of their lives. When we are trillions of dollars in debt. Do you have any idea how much that is, $1 trillion? Well, I'll tell you. Think of 2 or 3 years. Think of all the seconds in 2 or 3 years. Well, $1 trillion is more than 2 centuries worth of seconds. So right away, these people are devaluing the dollar because they're just printing and printing. That devalues it, causes inflation. Ever hear of the cost of living adjustment? Well, if they wouldn't drive up the price of everything, you wouldn't need a cost of living adjustment because you could live on what you make. And the Republicans, they just seem like they're just brain dead. You know, we got a president that should be impeached and in jail, and along with the Attorney General, and they can't do nothing. They're afraid to say boo. Oh, you can't say the N-word. What's that? Nigger? Huh? Or is it nice? Naughty? Nice? Well, I'll tell you, our president is a nigger because he's stealing from you. He's stealing from every American that actually works. And I'm not quite sure what nigger means, but I heard once they asked some guy down in Alabama or someplace, Georgia, Alabama, and that's what he said, a thief. So that's certainly what our president is. He's a nigger, all right, or he's an Oreo or whatever you want to call him. But that's him. Are you listening, Mr. President? Want to play ball? I'll take you to school and ball too. Okay. I'll get back to that in a moment. Here's another thing out of our paper. This lady in the advice column, Annette Bornereri. She's supposed to be an advocate for the disabled and stuff. She's here talking about voter ID laws help only to reduce voting. You know, with so many criminals in this country, and one lady saying she voted for the president like 9 times, the president actually stole this election. And it wouldn't be so bad if he'd actually stick up for Americans, but he doesn't. I'd like to tell this lady, and I know a lot about working with the disabled because I do it. And you know the best way to treat these people? Just like anybody else. They want to go out and work and have some dignity, because that's what you get from working. You get dignity. All you have to do is treat them like everybody else. This lady goes, Rhode Island's voter ID law is about to get its first run, and this is very much not a good thing. In fact, the enactment of voter ID laws in many states is one of the most troubling signs of what is going on in this country. You have to be able to keep voter registrations on the up and up. Can't be letting criminal illegal aliens vote 9, 10 times. You know, you need a picture ID to buy cigarettes in this state, but not to vote. But there are the Democrats for you. They know absolutely nothing. All they want to do is tell you how great they are, tell you what they're doing for you. And do they ever talk about your individual freedoms, your liberty? Do they ever do that? You know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, income inequality. Well, of course you're going to have income inequality. Because more people, because if you take 10, 20 people, they're all going to work different hours. Some are going to be more ambitious than others. So you're going to have income inequality. And it's they always want to have a cause. Like their war on poverty. How much has that cost us since Lyndon Johnson started it? Which I didn't really know much about because I was only a little kid. But how much has that actually cost us? And has anybody gotten out of poverty? No. No, they haven't. And the sad fact is, there's always going to be poor people, just like there's always going to be rich people. That's just the way it is. But before in America, we had the opportunity to move up from being poor to being not so poor to being well off to being rich. And you can't do that anymore because the government in every phase wants to take your money constantly. Constantly. It's not enough that they take taxes out, state and federal, in your paycheck. Here in Rhode Island, it's like 33 cents for every gallon of gas that you buy. You pay 33 cents to the state. So for every 3 gallons of gas sold in this state of Rhode Island, the state gets $1. Do you think they can fix a road? Huh? These roads are horrid. And they can't maintain a bridge. You know, they can't do nothing because they're giving this money all to the criminal, illegal aliens. You know, and it's gotten to the point where this is out now. It's treasonous right now because they're taking your money and they're giving it to somebody that's not even a citizen. This is just treasonous. And do you think? And the Republicans, they're scared. They might be called a racist. They're afraid. And the newspapers, I don't know what their problem is. They're failures anyway. Although the Daily News, they do have an excellent editorial page. Although they are a left-leaning paper, I must say their editorial page is beyond reproach. Okay, now having said that, I'm talking about the voter ID laws, which they should have. I mean, it just got struck down in Pennsylvania. This must be some left-leaning judge. Just like when they try and tell you, like, all these states have passed gay marriage, that's not true. This has been done by the benches, by the courts. Not one state in a referendum by the people has passed gay marriage. Not even flipping California. How's that? How is that? Another thing. Here in Newport, what is the Preservation Society wants to build like a welcoming center on the breakers. They always have a good idea for this and that, but one of the original members of the Breakers family, he said they shouldn't do it. So that should be enough for all these morons. So much for that. Okay, now let me try and relax a little bit here and try and talk about the state of basketball in this country, which is something I know a little bit about basketball because I used to play basketball like 30 hours a week, and I could have certainly beaten the president, that jerk off that he is. I could shoot 100 free throws in a row. You know, I could certainly beat the president. The NBA, I can't even watch it. And I'll tell you, one of the main reasons now, they always want to have this, because as an actual American fan of an American game, all they do is like slap you in the fucking face. They want to have games in fucking Europe or in fucking Mexico. And this coming out with this Spanish shit on their shirt sometimes, the Heat and stuff, and they want to just play games. They're just saying, oh, screw you, we don't need you, just give us your money. Well, let me tell you, if you were in a gym with nobody else around, and you were watching like probably any team in the NBA, you couldn't watch it for more than 10 minutes and just leave. Because these guys are pathetic. They don't want to run, they don't want to do nothing. These guys are like 6'8", 6'9", 6'9", and they dunk the ball and they want to turn around and make a face like they've done something great. You know, if you're like 6'9", you can't dunk a basketball, you're pretty pathetic. You know? And no matter what level of ball you go to now, high school, college, the NBA, I'll bet you watch any game and you all see somebody throw up an air ball. Now, when I used to play, you used to see maybe one air ball, maybe a year. Maybe one every 2 years. And now it's just commonplace. Just like the Democrats, you know, they just want to devalue everything. And so not only is my country devalued, the game of basketball is devalued. They had a high school coach in New York in the 90s saying the players weren't what they were like 10 years before in the 80s. And when I first started watching basketball, you know, teams were scoring like 120 points a game, and I'm there thinking, wow, these guys are going to get better. You know, I thought I'd be watching games, you know, 140, 150 points, just because these guys could shoot. That's not saying you don't play defense either. But if you beat the other team down the court, you know, get an easy bucket, that doesn't mean you're not playing defense. It means you've outrun them. I mean, I remember watching a Celtic game. They played Detroit. The Celtics scored 120 points, and they got blown out. They lost by like 30. But now these teams, they struggle to get like 70 points, 80 points. You know, if a team's down like 6 points, it seems like an insurmountable lead. Okay, well that's about it for me now. I'm just very, very depressed. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. And remember, God is honored by the humble. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening. This has been Ken Cordero, Cub Reporter.